This video is sponsored by Mia. Thank you all for your kind words about the new house last week. We are very, very excited. In case you missed it, I bought a house, which means I'm going to be moving and also the studio is going to be moving. So today I want to sit down with you and explain how I'm going to convert this desolate space into my dream studio. So I'm using Mia to organize all my ideas for this. You've seen me use Mia in the past, love them. And we're gonna go through all my plans. So I've created an entire board for my new studio plans. And on this main board here, I have sort of organized the vibe of the studio. So I'm really lucky. I'm gonna show you the floor plan in a second, but it's in a basement, but the basement is exposed. This is one of the reasons we got this house. It has an exposed basement, which means it has like a proper window. This window is like fairly good. You get fairly good light in here, but there's gonna be like a proper window and a door, which is very exciting, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I mostly wanted to focus on the fact that these pictures all have great light in them, and I'm hoping that I can have that also in my studio. And then the other thing is lots of wood and also a pegboard or like open shelving type storage. That's kind of the general vibe. So let me show you the floor plan. I don't know if this is TMI, but this is the current cellar situation. So as I said, it's an exposed basement. All of this area is, how do I explain? It's exposed. The ground is at the bottom, so you can have proper full length windows. And then this bottom part here, this is all like normal cellar. And they use these rooms for various different things. Like, I'm not gonna be using them like that, but there is a terrace, which is cool. So I'm planning on using these two rooms here for my studio. And we're going to have basically the same setup as I have now in terms of we have a main area, which is this room, and then we have a separate room for the kilns. I think I'm also going to continue to glaze in that room, but I have a few other ideas for how I can use this room as well. So we have these two rooms. The main problem is that they're not properly connected. So you would have to go out and all the way around into the kiln room, which is annoying. I sort of have that now, but this is even further. And the problem is the hallway area, there's no separation between that and like our living space. It's all like an open kind of, watch the video from last week. I gave you a tour, but I don't want dust to get into that hallway area. So my thought is, since we're buying a house, we can change a few things, hopefully, if it's not too expensive. So my thought is to add a door here between the two rooms, and then also potentially add a window for additional light coming from another angle. I'm not sure if this is possible. The home inspector said this is a little ambitious. So if I can't do the window, I might just do a door and make that door glass, like a window door, but this is the dream. And you can see here, apologies for the German, there's a window, like this is kind of the idea. So there's a window and then a door, and then this line here is where the wall intersects. So this is the main studio room, and then you could walk through to the glazing room / kiln room, which is very exciting. The biggest thing, the first thing that we need to do is talk to a wall person. I have my little to-do list here. We need to talk to someone who can do this type of thing and get a quote, see if my dreams are possible. Who knows? Let's move on to renovation. So here's where things get a little juicy. It's less fun than the decorating and the layout and stuff, but we have to get through it. So we have the main room, and as you can see, the main room is quite depressing. We have no floors. I mean, it's just cement. We have walls that are, not even painted. And then over here, you can see a photo where the insulation, this is the door, the insulation is breaking down. So our recommendation was that we just rip out all the insulation. It's like a very old, not very efficient foam insulation. The idea is that we rip it out and replace it with modern Holzfaserwolle, which is like wood fiber insulation. It's what was recommended to us. again, I have to talk to a wall guy still, but that's the idea. I do need to insulate this room because I'm going to be working here all year, and it's Germany, so it gets cold. So I think actually that's the first step. I have my little to-do list here. So the first step is basically removing stuff. So we got to remove the foam insulation, and then in the kiln room, we have, again, watch last week's video, but it's crazy. They built this out as a guest room, so there's incredibly old 70s old carpet, and then we have this great little like wallpaper mural, and then we have some curtains and this funny, I don't know what you call it. I'm assuming it's covering a pipe, but it's got some, you know, fluorescent lights behind it and stuff. And then craziest of all, there's some sort of oven in here. I think they said it was a kerosene oven. I'm not really sure how that works at all, but I was told that it doesn't work. At least it's not legal to run it, unfortunately. It does offer the possibility, and again, I need to talk to a professional, but it does offer a potential possibility of routing a kiln vent through there. Now, I'm a little skeptical that this will work. I do want to properly vent my kilns in this new house because it's going to be like my permanent house, like hopefully until I die. This is the plan. So I would like to install proper kiln ventilation in this house. I think it's worth the investment. I'm not sure it's going to work through this pipe because Germany has very strict laws about what goes into chimneys and whatnot. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll have to talk to a professional about that. But I think in the meantime, I should be able to at least remove the oven, and hopefully I can give it to someone who wants to reuse it for something. I've been putting tons and tons of stuff on eBay Kleinanzeigen, the German marketplace equivalent, and I've been making some money back. I'm pretty excited about that. Anyway, most exciting is we get to tile. Again, like I moved into this space and it was also a cement floor. If it wasn't a rental, I would have put tiles in here too, but I didn't want to spend too much money because I don't own this place. So I just put in laminate flooring, which has served fairly well. There has been, I don't know if you saw me posting about this on Instagram, but there was one time where we were away. We were in the States for my brother's wedding, and it was like, I don't even know what time of the year. It was like summer, and we had a crazy hailstorm. Hail piled up against these windows. Anyway, long story short, this room flooded. There was like this much water on the floor, and our landlord and our upstairs neighbor dealt with it. Long story short, all this laminate got completely soaked and sat like that for a little while. I had to run dehumidifiers for like weeks afterwards after we got back. It was very frustrating. That wouldn't happen if we had tile. So like the laminate is really great, but now it's not fully lined up anymore. And I just think it's a pottery studio. There's gonna be wet things going on. Like it's a basement as well. Like it does make sense to just put tile in, to spend the money. I don't know if I'm gonna be brave enough to tile it myself. Let me know. You let me know if tiling a floor is challenging. I've obviously had experience tiling walls and whatnot, but I'm worried. I've never had to be so precise about making everything flat. It's such a large area. I don't know like how to prepare the cement floor for tiling. I don't know anything about it, but I do have a mood board. And here are the colors that are inspiring me right now. I'm not totally sure I'm gonna follow through with this, but I love this kind of yellow and white checker thing. I think it's like that classic checker, but it's not so intense as like a black and white would be, or like a blue and white, or like any darker color. I even might go like slightly lighter than this yellow so that there's even less contrast. But my plan is to just find some tile that are the same size, like from the same brand, and just buy two different colors. I think that's possible. And then the one thing that I definitely do want to bring with is this lovely wood paneling, because I bought this paneling, so it's coming with me. And I love it. I think it makes the room so cozy. So maybe I even do more of that in the new studio, but I'm definitely bringing this with. And I just want to have, as I said at the beginning, lots of beautiful wood. That's the idea. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm using Milanote to organize this crazy renovation, and I really cannot imagine organizing all this without it. I like that I can have everything in place, my inspiration photos, layout designs, and endless lists, and I can arrange it all to be beautifully visual and inspiring. You can use Milanote as a photo dump for all of your inspiration imagery, add notes, lists, and links, and even nest Milanote boards within boards. This is super helpful for me because I can really get detailed without adding clutter. And if you don't want to start from a blank canvas, Milanote has over 100 built-in templates available for every creative project. I sometimes get overwhelmed with a blank canvas, so these templates are really helpful when I don't know where to start. Milanote is perfect for creative professionals. Whether you're a filmmaker, interior designer, writer, or content creator, it is designed to help you organize your work. But the cleverest thing is the Web Clipper tool, which helps you easily grab images from the web without copying and pasting or screenshotting. That way, if I find an image online that I want to add to my mood board, I can easily insert it. I also really love to use the Milanote app to jot down ideas on the go, and you can also share your board to collaborate on projects. Best of all, Milanote is available for free with no time limit, so sign up using the link down below in the video description and get started today. Thanks, Milanote. Okay, this is where I get really excited because we go into the layout, the design of the space, how it's all going to work. So I've been playing around with SketchUp to kind of make a model of our space. So we're assuming that our rooms are connected now. The one on the left is the main room and the one on the right is the kiln room. And you can see the windows and the doors, theoretically all where they should be. So first things first is we're going to start with the workbench. So I'm planning on taking this bad boy apart and bringing it with me. I'm a little bit worried about, I sealed all of the screws. Like I covered them with wood, what do you call it, wood paste? I hope I can take it apart because this doesn't fit through the door. So either way, I need to take this apart and hopefully I can take it apart without breaking it. I do have a video, if you go way, way, way back, I show how I made this workbench if you're interested. Anyway, and then I want to have something very similar to what I have back here, because again, I'm going to be reusing as much as I possibly can. And I personally love in a pottery studio where I have a table here and then a table here, because I can work here, set stuff back here. Like I like to work in this area kind of lodged between two tables. And then of course the back area can have all my tools, drawers full of materials, all sorts of stuff that I really badly need to organize. That was always my goal for here, but I never kind of got around to it. I would love to put in more of like a pegboard style system. I have a few tools hanging, but I would love to just get everything up on the wall. I think that that would be really cool. And then the shelves, the wooden shelves that I have back here, they will go along the wall with the door on it. So that's like the main furniture in the room. And then I'll have the wheel kind of in the middle of the room again. I really love to put my wheel in the middle of the room because it's so much easier to clean up afterwards. I do usually push my wheel off to the side when I'm not using it, but I need to have that space in the middle of the room so I can easily mop up my messes afterwards. And then one thing that I would really love to add in the studio. So this studio is like a very small amount larger than this studio. I don't know the exact measurements. I think the studio is like 4 by 5 meters or something like that. And I feel like this is just a tiny, tiny bit bigger, maybe 5 by 5, something like that. But anyway, there's room to have a desk. And I would love to have a desk because, I mean, I'm constantly working at this table and, you know, when I'm working on pottery stuff and I need to quickly upload a video or something, I have to kind of put my computer in the corner or whatever. Like, it would be nice to just have like a little area that's a little bit more tidy, kind of separate. I'm hoping. Otherwise, that area I might put a large cupboard, like a floor to ceiling cupboard instead, because one thing that I've been lacking is a place to store like my mop and cleaning supplies. And then because I'm doing YouTube, I need to have a place for my lighting and camera storage. So that was something that I never considered when I designed this space. I guess when I designed this space, I didn't know that YouTube was really going to be such a big thing in my life, but I don't really have anywhere for my lights. And I absolutely hate disassembling them and putting them away because I use them all the time. So what I have here, I just have like the corners of the room are just kind of like stuffed with lights and tripods. It's really not nice. It doesn't look tidy. So if I can just like reserve this little area in the corner for my lights, that would be really cool. Okay, moving on to the kiln room. So I'll put my little kiln in the corner here. And then in the middle, I'm planning to put the table. That's where all of the best light will be. So that's where I want to work. And then I can make a little wooden box over the heater to store all my tools. Sort of like how I have all my tools on the shelf in the kiln room. That's really handy. And then we're going to have more shelves in here for sure. I need more shelves. Like I put so many shelves up in that room and still not enough somehow. But yeah, I'll just line the wall with shelves and I'll do the same Evar shelves. Every pottery studio has the same IKEA Evar shelves and they're just so freaking practical and the wood is lovely, obviously. So the big exciting thing that I want to add is a space for my laser cutter. I think that that would be a really great thing to have more in the studio area because I'm using it so often. And right now it's just like in the far corner of the basement in an unfinished, cold, horrible room. And when I'm doing laser cutting, I need to kind of have an eye on it. So this was part of the idea behind putting a window there, is that I can work in the main room and not breathe in the fumes, but still kind of have a visual eye on the laser cutter as it's cutting to prevent me from burning my house down. That's the thought. It would be really, really cool. I definitely want to bring that into the space. And then the maybe even more exciting thing is that because this room is a little bit bigger, there is a potential space for a larger kiln. Now, I don't have any plans anytime soon to get a big kiln because it's just, I need to renovate a house first. I'm not made of money. I just don't have the money for it right now. It's not in the budget, but I like that there's space for it. I would love, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, I can upgrade and get a bigger kiln because I really want to at some point make larger pieces. And I love my tiny little kiln. It's very practical because most of the time I'm making small stuff. And most of the time I don't make enough stuff to fill a big kiln. But for those random large pieces, I feel so limited by my kiln size. And it would be a dream come true, really, to get a new kiln. So I already know which one I want, by the way. It's the one that I had in my studio in Berlin, in the community studio that I used to run, Naberterm 140 it was, 140 liters. And that thing was a workhorse and it never failed me. Such a good kiln. If you're in the market, I don't know if they sell in the States, but they definitely sell all throughout Europe. Naberterm or Nabertherm, definitely a great brand. It's not as like high end. People don't talk about Naberterm, but I've never been failed by my Naberterm, so. Little plug from Naberterm. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, I will love it. Anyway, let's move on to the design. So as you can see, this board is basically just full of my inspiration. I've jotted down some notes in these little to-do list cards, basically just like my ideas. So there's just so much to say about this. I don't even know where to start. Obviously, every pottery studio needs to have some open shelving for all the beautiful pots that you're making. I have lots of open shelving right now. It doesn't look nearly as beautiful as these open shelves because it's full of a lot of clutter right now, but it's nice to dream about a more beautiful space. One thing that I really liked about this picture, so I of course like the pegboard, I want to replicate that, but I like how they have all of their tools in matching cups. Now, of course, part of me loves to reuse all these old cups, these failed cups. Some are cups made from friends, but something so neat and tidy about matching cups. So I'm thinking I might make a bunch of terracotta cups that all my tools can just be all neat and tidy and matching is an idea. Another thing is I am going to have a sink. The sink is not going to be in the studio. I can show you back with the floor plan. So the sink is going to be here in the Waschküche, which is where you would put your laundry machine. There's a little sink right here. So it's not going to be in the studio, but it's going to be like, I can't imagine we're going to use that sink for anything other than pottery. So I can definitely build out something that looks like this. It's not a high priority because I've been managing so well in the studio without a sink. The only thing that bothers me about not having a sink in the studio is just lugging buckets of water up and down the stairs. I don't like to clean my tools in the sink. I don't like to deal with sink traps and all that faff. I really just like to clean my tools in a bucket, and I use that bucket for several days. And then I pour the bucket out through a sieve, like a filter system, which I've talked about in the past. So if you don't have a sink in your studio and it's like not seemingly possible to do a sink in a studio, you can get really used to just not having one. Like, I've developed systems around not having one and I don't miss it at all. Speaking of my beautiful Nabatam, they have that, I think, exact one, the Nabatam 140. That's my baby boy. Actually, maybe he's a little smaller. Anyway, I just like this picture for the light. It's really beautiful. Pegboards, open shelves, access to the outdoors. Oh, what a dream. I am hoping that Peanut comes and visits me more in the studio there because she obviously hangs out in the garden all of the time and she does not like coming down to the basement here, so you never see her because she's never down here with me. She doesn't like it. And every time, like, you know, if she's being naughty or something, I'll bring her down here and she just wants to leave. So maybe you'll see more of her in the new space. So yeah, I just have some notes here for storage, like my most often used tools on the pegboard, my lesser used tools in the drawers, shelves for work in progress, shelves for clay and reclaim, and drawers for my filming equipment. I would like to just be more disciplined about organizing my stuff. Like, I have tools on the shelf right now over there, which they should not be on the shelf. Like, just random stuff everywhere, and like the drawers aren't organized at all. So I'm really looking forward to the studio move as an opportunity to like really nail down my systems. And I think I'm gonna even like label my drawers because it's just a mess right now. I more or less know where everything is, but I would like it to be just more orderly. Like these studios, they just look so beautiful, and it's like such an inspiring place to be when there's a little bit more order. So that's pretty much it for my design. Let me know if you have any feedback because I'm really open to it. These are my first thoughts. Once I get into the space, like, some things might change. I'm going to be starting maybe in a month or so actually renovating the space. The biggest priority right now is the house, like making the house livable. It is quite unlivable right now. Just watch the other video. I'll link it in the video description and at the end of this video in case you missed it. But it is a very old house from the 1970s and it has never been updated since the 1970s, basically. It needs new insulation. It needs the pipes to be cleaned. It needs a lot done that we're not going to do because we don't have the funds for it. But there's some things that are like top priority that we need to do before we move in. And the studio is like slightly lower priority, although I would like to start at least get the tile down and whatnot before we move in so that when we can move in, I can just like put my kiln in its place, put the table in, etc. So the plan right now is to move in September. We sort of pushed it a little bit in the last few days because we've actually started talking to the workers and their timelines are not as ideal as I would have hoped. We're hoping September, but in the meantime, I'll be working in here. I'll have more projects for you in here. And I'll also share a little bit of the renovation process as well. I'll keep you updated, but please give me your feedback. Please let me know, what parts of the design that you like, what parts that you don't like. If you have any ideas that I haven't considered that you think that would be really great in this space, yeah, let me know. I'm all ears. This is the third time that I've designed a pottery studio, and I feel like each time I get a little bit better at it, but the pressure is a little bit more on in this case because this is going to be my forever studio, hopefully. I'm really, really excited to just grow in this space. I'm really excited to see what I can make in this space. Maybe I want to tile the walls or something crazy. So I'm really excited. And once again, thank you all for your kind words on the video. I hope that you like the way I'm going to design the space. I hope that you follow along. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.